The Atlanta Falcons, Carolina Panthers, and Tampa Bay Buccaneers all got great news over the weekend when Derek Carr announced his retirement. And I'm going to tell you why on today's episode because it's a little bit more layered than you might think. But if you are ready to sweep the Aints this season, do me a big favor, click that thumbs up button. Let's get 500 likes, a record for the month of May, off of today's video. But Derek Carr announcing his retirement, if you missed it, happened over the weekend. And the reason why I think this is especially good news for teams like Atlanta, Carolina, and Tampa is because Kellen Moore and Mickey Loomis went into free agency, even probably the draft, with some level of a plan in place for what they want to do this season. And it all starts with what you have at quarterback. So when your starting quarterback announces his retirement in the middle of May, it's going to throw a wrench into things, right? Had they known that back in February or in March, I guarantee you things would have gone differently for New Orleans, right? But now they've got to adapt. They've got to just completely bend over backwards, and they've got to pivot and change on the fly when all the marquee free agents are already signed and the draft is in the books, and they are left with Tyler Shuck, a second-round quarterback, as probably their best option. So I know some people look at this as actually good news for New Orleans. You get your jokes off. Derek Carr is mid, he's average, he's overpaid. Whatever you want to say about him, I can guarantee you that when Kellen Moore accepted that head coaching job back in January or February, he expected Derek Carr to be his starting quarterback. So when he has a change at quarterback, he didn't get a change at safety. His quarterback got changed after free agency and after the NFL draft. He's not happy about that. So when the head coach and the GM are thrown for a loop right as we go into the summer break, I'd say the rest of the division's probably enjoying that news, enjoying that dilemma that their biggest rival has been put into. So with that, let's at least take a moment to appreciate what a bag getter Derek Carr was in his career. I put two numbers up here. On the left, you can see Derek Carr's career NFL passing yards rank, 22nd, right behind our very own Kirk Cousins. And then you can see roughly his career earnings, $195.6 million. I mean, just look at how Kirk and Derek Carr stand out compared to the guys above and beneath them. Now, it's not completely fair. I mean, Dan Fouts for the Chargers, that was in the 70s and 80s. They didn't even have like public, contract numbers. So I had to find a bunch of LA Times articles from like 1983 and do some digging. But over 15 years, I came up with about $8-ish million. Obviously, with inflation, that number would be much, much higher. But still, look at these bag getters here. I mean, Rodgers, Stafford, Brady. These guys kind of make sense for being towards the top, right? Of course, as years go by, contracts go up with the salary cap going up and just general, economics with inflation. But no one's going to bat an eye at these too much, right? But Kirk sitting at number 4. That includes his 2025 contract. And then Derek Carr sitting at 16, which I guess isn't too far off from 22nd in passing yards. So it's not that big of a reach. But Cousins being 21st in passing yards, but 4th in total earnings, that is a all-time bag get right there. But New Orleans now goes into the rest of their offseason workouts with 3 quarterbacks for the time being on the roster. I expect them to make at least some type of addition. Does not have to be a splashy addition, but teams are going to look, or the Saints are going to look at this as we've got a rookie who's nearly 40, Spencer Rattler who sucks, and Jake Haener who also sucks, and he sucks more than Rattler. We should probably go out and see if there is a quarterback available in the trade market. I'm especially excited about this just to see the downfall for the Saints because Tyler Shuck was a quarterback going into the pre-draft process I was not very high on. I mean, we never talked about quarterbacks on this channel because we never had to, but if you want to know what I thought about it going into the draft, it was Cam Ward I view as a Jameis Winston light. Not someone I think is going to transcend a franchise, but can understand how he goes first overall to a quarterback-needy team, given his ceiling. Never liked really Shador as a long-term franchise quarterback. Didn't like Jalen Milroe or Shuck at all. I think Kyle McCord might be my favorite quarterback, actually, after Cam Ward. But Shuck, he is a very interesting prospect. So, for starters, he started off at Oregon. He was Justin Herbert's backup. Then he goes to Texas Tech. He plays 3 years for the Red Raiders. He has season-ending injuries and big injuries, too, in all 3 seasons. And then one healthy season in 2024 at Louisville. He's 25 years old, and he's turning 26 in September. So he's a grandpa. I mean, I'll give him credit. He's got a smoking hot wife and a beautiful dog. But as for being an NFL quarterback, no, I don't have much confidence or faith in Tyler Shuck if I were a Saints fan. He's got a really strong arm. He can make some pretty fun, incredible plays, just on the move, just plays that make you go, how did he pull that off? But for every one of those plays, he has 2, I want to burn my eyes watching that type of plays. So I'm very excited for this if you're, the Falcons, the Bucks, or the Panthers, knowing New Orleans does not have a good quarterback. And I think there's a very real chance that they are picking not only first overall in 2025, but I'll go as far to say first overall in 2026. If they don't get first overall in 2026, it's going to be the worst time for them to be first overall in 2025 2026 and 2027. I'm sorry. It's weird how the years have gone by. So Arch Manning is probably going to be the talk of New Orleans. I think he's going to play 4 years at Texas. So I don't think he enters the draft for 2026. I think he enters the draft in 2027. So doomsday scenario for New Orleans is they suck 1 year too early. And they don't get first overall when Arch Manning enters the NFL draft. And I know that's way down the road, but if he ends up being the consensus number 1 overall pick and his hometown team are picking second. So who's going to have more wins in 2025? Atlanta or New Orleans? I'm going with the Dirty Birds. Scroll on down and drop an ATL for me in the comment section if you agree. Now, earlier I mentioned they might look to trade for a quarterback. One name I'll float out there is Kenny Pickett. He stinks too. I mean, Tyler Shuck, I'm not just trying to pump your tires right now since he is the, inline starter for this team. I did not like him going into the draft. I hated Spencer Rattler. I've disliked Spencer Rattler ever since he was on that Netflix QB1 show. And he was an absolute punk as a high schooler, having his aunt take the fall for him for tweeting out some shit when the whole show was recorded as if people wouldn't know he was the one that did that. Now, sure, high school, I made poor decisions in high school. We all did. But he was an asshole to his teammates. His backup quarterback was just trying to learn from him, and he was a complete dick to him. And when he, kind of flamed out at Oklahoma, I had no problem seeing him bounce around and go to, South Carolina and just be average there. So Rattler, I think, sucks. Shuck, I think, sucks. Pickett, I think, is bad. The Saints are fucked. So enjoy that on your Monday. Some news, and I don't like this news, and it's not because it's bad news, but I hate when I get a notification over the weekend from Adam Schefter, and it starts with the Atlanta Falcons have signed Jalen Walker. It's that is, it's accurate, but we make rookie signing contracts like a news item. It's the biggest non-news piece in the world. By the way, I went with this picture because I just wanted you guys to see him holding a Tennessee helmet. But James Pierce Jr. also signed his rookie deal. All 5 draft picks for the Falcons have signed their rookie contracts. So it's nice just to have that over with because sometimes you do see rookies go unsigned into training camp and then they don't participate in training camp. And it's always strange because the boundaries of the contract are already in place. It's usually about guaranteed money. So I like that all 5 draft picks, including both first-round draft picks, have their rookie deals done and are ready to roll for the rest of summer and going into training camp. I mean, speaking of Georgia players, I remember Roquan Smith was unsigned going into Chicago Bears training camp. So he missed a little bit of time there, which is just not ideal. All right, before we sign off, two quick things. One, quick shout out, by the way, to anyone that's gotten a Jalen Walker or James Pierce jersey. Let me know in the comment section because I was talking to our ad ops guy, Jack Lauderay at Chat Sports. He said the Falcons channel is towards the top across Chat Sports jersey sales when you use our link. So if that's you, let me know in the comment section so I can give you a shout out. But go to chatsports.com/ATL rookies if you want to get a Jalen Walker jersey. He's wearing 11, or James Pierce jersey, who is wearing 27. Let's spin the wheel to wrap up today's episode. Who's going to get 2 claps? I just picked 6 viewers from our last episode. Looking good for Chafis. I like Chafis. I got a trip to Disney in August. One day, I'm going to be chafing bad. All right, 2 claps to Chafis. 1, 2. I will see everyone in a few hours for a second edition of Falcons Today.